Michael, la pregunta un poco después de oír todo lo que pasó esta mañana y de las opiniones de todos estos pues personalidades administrativas, de gobierno y del sector privado, es que pues siempre se oye un poco como la caricatura de que pues nos comparamos con países que no son comparables a nosotros. Entonces, que siempre hablamos de Finlandia o de Ontario y que todos estos países son o más ricos o tienen menos gente o tienen condiciones culturales diferentes o condiciones de gobiernos distintas, y entonces que lo que se hace allá realmente no es posible para nosotros hacerlo. Usted, profesor Fullen, que tiene toda esta experiencia, digamos, haciendo acompañamiento y asesoría en otros países, pues la pregunta es, ¿está Colombia lista? ¿Es Colombia capaz de hacer una cosa de estas independientemente de las comparaciones?
First of all, the answer is yes. You can learn and have success, but it requires explanation. And I want to refer to a study that's just about to come out that Andy Hargraves and his colleagues did. It's called Uplifting Expectations, so uplifting performance. And they studied outstanding companies or organizations in 3 sectors: sports, business, and education. They found 4 things, but I'm going to say 2 they found. The ones that were most successful that they studied, they had a combination of what they called inspiring destination. So that's the vision, the expectations, that people have high expectations, so and they're inspired to want to accomplish more. The second thing, and this is really directly to your question, they borrowed ideas from elsewhere, but they found their own pathways, and that's the answer. You borrow the ideas, you find your own pathways. And we see it in California. California have sent 3 groups up to Ontario that say, we like the ideas, we think they might apply to California, we want to understand what you did, and now we're helping them implement the ideas in California, but it's their own ideas, it's their own pathways. But the concepts are clear: capacity building, leadership, high expectations, use of data, the transparency, non-punitive accountability. So the good news is you can do this, and but it's a responsibility on the people in the country to take the initiative to figure out the best pathways, and that's what I think the next phase is in Colombia.
Digamos, me gusta mucho su respuesta a este tema, porque una de las cosas que a mí más me gusta del estudio que la Fundación promovió es que tiene una parte muy contextualizada al país de cómo se podría implementar las ideas o cómo se podrían implementar estas ideas de estos otros países que lo han hecho bien, pero realmente lo estamos planteando, y se hizo con expertos que conocían mucho el sector educativo colombiano y al país. Estamos planteando unas ideas que pues en teoría son aplicables acá a las realidades como las tenemos y lo que tenemos, y así como hicimos esto con todo el tema de mejoramiento docente, que es tan importante, pues realmente todos los demás temas que se traten deberían siempre tener una construcción, digamos, de un mapa, de una ruta, como la que está planteando este estudio, que reitero, pienso que eso es lo más valioso del estudio.
Good. Well, what you describe is a good example of what I was observing, which is your group studied 4 other countries, but then they took those ideas and translated them into the context that would fit here, what I call finding your own pathways. But now there's a second stage of finding your own pathways, which is the actual implementation, and there are going to be new things to discover and to develop. That report doesn't answer but points in the direction, but now the work of implementation starts to figure out where can we get success in the different regions of the whole country. So I think it's a lot of work, but the right steps have been taken to start it.
Sí, ese es definitivamente el reto más grande. Como lo vimos, digamos, el gobernador de Antioquia pues tiene una política educativa muy clara. Eso es una cosa pues supremamente interesante y valiosa para el país. La región de Antioquia, como le explicaba, pues es la región probablemente más rica de Colombia y más grande de Colombia. En ese sentido es muy poco típica de lo que realmente es Colombia. No viven solamente de las transferencias del centro de la nación, sino que ellos tienen sus propios recursos y hacen unas inversiones importantes y son muy orgullosos, digamos, de lo que hacen, y con toda razón. Pero siempre me queda, digamos, esa sensación de ¿y qué pasa de la responsabilidad de las regiones hacia el centro y hacia el resto del país. ¿Cómo puede Antioquia ayudar al resto de Colombia en este esfuerzo? Y pues su experiencia particular en este caso, siendo usted un impulsor de una reforma en una provincia de Canadá, y Canadá logrando como un todo tener resultados educativos muy buenos, pues ¿qué fue al final lo que hizo Ontario por el resto del país para motivar todo ese mejoramiento?
We have encountered that, and we came up with a new word that translates very well, but the word is systemness. So think of that. It's not a real word, but I'm going to say it's a new concept. And systemness is when someone like the governor in Antioquia is thinking, I want to contribute to the bigger system and I want to benefit from the bigger system. So let's say the bigger system is the country. So the mindset that we need to have is people who don't just say, my part of it, I'll make that work, but I don't care about the rest of the part. The mindset you need is, I want my part to work, but I also want to see other parts work because we all will gain and we need to do that. So that's the premise, and I think it means on the part of the president, it means a combination of sometimes the president of the country and the governors have to have a better how do we make it work for each other. But sometimes, as you said in your question, some regions have learned things they can share laterally to other regions. And this is we have another phrase we say, if you want to change the group, use the group to change the group. So the group is the group of regions. If you want to change the group of regions, use some of the groups of the regions to relate. So I think for the governor in that situation, you want to appeal to his bigger contribution that he can make to other regions and with hopefully the cooperation of the central government as well, because it's the systemness that's important. So I think it's tricky to do it well. And you have to do it out of with some humility. You can't say, well, I know it all, therefore I'm going to tell you how to do it, because people won't like that. You have to say, I've had special advantages here, we've been able to do it, other regions have not. How would they do it, and how, if I were talking to other governors, how could we possibly make that happen? So we've done this informally in Canada, so Alberta and Ontario, a lot of mutual exchange. How do we learn from each other? So you increase the degree of lateral communication that's focusing on improvement, so that the group is feeling that we are in this together. We have our own responsibilities, but we can see if the whole thing improves, we all improve, we move up this way. And then the role of the central government is to perhaps sometimes stay out of the way, and other times to enable it to happen. So I think it's complicated politically, but it's the right thing to do. And most leaders we have seen respond to the idea of systemness.
La última preocupación que le queda a uno de estos, en el foro pues había mucha gente, la mayoría de ellos asisten al foro porque les parece que la educación es importante, y a los que no les parecía esperamos que después de los eventos del foro ya les parezca. Pero siempre le queda a uno la preocupación de que esto todavía no es una problemática o un interés sentido por todos, y la sociedad en pleno, digamos, así como uno ve por ejemplo un llamado en salud que es un poco más claro, uno pues siempre quiere que lo atiendan bien en una clínica y no importa si uno es educado o no, si tiene los recursos o no. En educación, digamos, todavía no se siente eso, y eso viene, digamos, los ejemplos son claros, vienen desde el sindicato mismo y poderlo meter en este proceso, hasta pues ejemplos de la familia de uno, mi mamá, ¿le parece eso importante o no? Yo votaría por un candidato que me propone esto como el tema central. ¿Cómo hace un gobierno y un Estado y los implementadores de la política, digamos, para volver esto realmente un tema de todos?
Okay. So convincing the vast majority of people that the change is a good thing is at the heart of success. And I'll start by saying the way not to convince people is to say, we have a 5-year plan, this is magnificent, and that you make all the promises, and you're passionate and inspiring. That's not the way to do this. Sometimes that's necessary for a start, Sometimes people will be inspired by it that are in the room already, but the people, as you said in your question, so you can't do it that way. How do you do it? You do it by giving people new experiences that they find valuable, and having people among their peers who have those experiences to interact across, and they're more likely to be convinced by people at their same level than they are by the hierarchy. So if I give an example around school districts, we have 72 school districts. We wanted all 72 to be mobilized in the new direction. And in a given region, we might have a school district that is quite successful and another one that's stagnant, not going anywhere. And what we would do is we would provide some experiences for both districts, but then we would look for ways where the district can interact, and that if it was a school's leadership visiting another school across the district. But the strategy is really based on, if you can't give people new experiences, you can't get started. So I know it's a bit of a problem getting started, because but you can't convince people through words. You have to convince them through enabling people to have the experiences that they find worthwhile, or that their children find worthwhile. So that, I guess I put it this way, in English we say, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So someone who says, I'm not interested in this new thing, may not know what the new thing is. They've rejected it without trying it. So we want to make it possible for people to try things under non-threatening circumstances. And that sounds hard, because it is hard. You have to convince lots and lots of people. But I guess the encouraging news is, when you get a certain level of it, the peers feed on the peers. Because once we reached our certain level, which was after 4 years, I would say, we had a lot of people influencing a lot of other people that weren't us doing the direct influencing, it was them interacting. We provided the strategies that enabled them to interact, but it's like positive contagion. Okay. The contagion is around experiences that work.
Okay. In other words, you need to generate the need.
Yeah, and the need is not verbal, the need is emotional.
It's emotional.
And it's experiential.
Okay.
Yeah.
En otras palabras, hay que generar la necesidad. Thank you, Michael.
Okay, well, I look forward to,
we needed this to close the...
Yeah, I'm glad we...
But we're going to start moving it around and sending it with the video, etc., so that people have a little bit more closure.
Yeah, this is great, because there's a new chapter now.
A new chapter.
After today, and it's going to be a very important chapter to get right, and it's going to be challenging, but also exciting.
Hopefully we'll see you again here, giving us advice to how to proceed.
And learning from your successes, I hope.
Hopefully too.
Yeah, then I have another example to tell the world.
That's great. That will be great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.